My pod is Boston, my pod is pure. I've got a Mukka, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod Ayit. And we're going to talk about some characters that ain't even real. And hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the hell time of day it is, wherever you are. And welcome to Mukkapod, your least favourite podcast.
Oh, no!
That brings you spicy hot takes from the world of pop culture and a hefty helping of British banter. Whether it be gaming, movies, TV, comic books or anime, you name it, we've got it. And if we ain't got it, you don't fucking need it. I am your host, Jamie, and with me, as always, is the Sidonian himself, the immortal man with an iron immune system. It's Jord.
But that's not quite true, is it?
You're alive though, mate.
I am alive, yeah.
You're alive. It's so good to see. Yeah, we didn't have a podcast last week, did we, Jord?
We didn't. I was well, we had something. It didn't quite look like a podcast to me though, so we didn't put it out, did we?
I can't believe it's not podcast.
Yeah, it was bad. Was.
Jord had the old jab, and I had the old day get no sleep. So
yeah, between us, it wasn't working, was it?
It wasn't usable. It was barely even a conversation. So, but we do have a saying in the industry, don't we? You know, don't let your podcast host die. So it was better to not do a podcast and let you get the rest. And I'm glad you're back. You're back on form, mate.
Yes, mate. I'm all good.
So for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is Mukkapod. How this kind of works format-wise is that we kind of go through some of the things that have been going on this week in the world of pop culture, fandoms, geekdom, gaming, kind of give you our thoughts on it. And we've got a main discussion topic that we kind of go into after that, and then at the end we just sort of see how's it been going and kind of riff off each other a little bit, because this is sort of our social time as well, and we do actually enjoy each other's company allegedly. So we gotta get
Who am ya?
So what am ya? So news, Ayit then, Jord?
It is our mate.
There was a little independent film that released last week. It was called Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yes.
Released
made by one man only. Zach.
One man.
Zachary Snyder.
Zachary. We give him a middle name. Zachary.
Justice Snyder.
Justice Snyder.
Yeah.
There we go. I love it, man. Yeah, because then his post would come to JLS, and I love that. So, no, it wouldn't, would it? ZLR. I can't spell.
You're right, mate.
Anyway, no. Yeah. So it's the word of mouth has been quite positive, and the fan reaction has been good, and Restore the Snyderverse has been trending on Twitter. But Warner Brothers are pressing ahead with their other planned DC EU movies as if this had never happened. Basically what they've said is that, you know, we love Zack and we love what he's done, but this wraps up his trilogy and we want to carry on doing what we've been doing. So essentially they've given Zack Snyder a cookie and told him to go away.
Yeah, it's like, thank you for the HBO subscribers, now fuck off, we're done. They just want to move past this whole social media thing and make Aquaman 2 essentially. I think that potentially, I mean, we spoke about the Snyder Cut in this episode that we didn't release. We did, yeah.
But we can go over a little bit of it.
Yeah, we'll go over it again now, a week later, and now I can't remember anything. So,
I just think it was a little bit disingenuous potentially to be setting up sequel baiting essentially with a lot of the stuff that they left at the end, knowing that it's probably not going to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what Zack Snyder wanted to do. Maybe he was, rolling the dice, seeing if he could push him for another film, and it didn't work.
Zack chimed in with a haven't you people? No, I'm joking. Zack chimed in. Warner Brothers hasn't really expressed any interest in making more movies with me. That's 100% fine. I understand. That's his quote, man, and that's like kicking a puppy in the face, man. No, but the thing about the whole restore the Snyderverse thing is that it's been trending like mad this week, and millions of people have been tweeting that out, including myself. The reaction to the Snyder Cut itself, I think, it kind of ranges from pleasantly surprised to, oh my god, this is amazing. And I sort of class myself in that camp that was like really surprised by this, and I would like to see how this plays out, because it ended up being way more interesting and so different from the original cut that I was just bowled over. But this had no right being as good as it was. Do you know what I mean? So it's a real shame that they don't want to go that way. Do you think there's any room here for a U-turn?
Possibly.
Give it time.
Possibly. I'm not bothered if we don't see anything else, personally. It seems like the next film would have heavily featured Jared Leto's Joker, so I'm okay to not see it. So, sure.
That's not a laugh, that's opening a creaky door. You need a bit of WD-40 on you, Jared. So, okie dokie.
Yeah, the film we got was good.
It was good, but like,
it's all you can ask for, really.
I know, but it's a bit of a piss take with Warner Brothers kind of meddling in Justice League the way that they did, and now that we could have had this in 2017. Do you know what I mean? That there was a lot of this that would have been presented to you before you got somebody in to do reshoots. Like, to what degree they had the Snyder Cut in front of them would dictate to me how much they've got a clue on how to do their jobs.
Well, no, let's not go into that's a long conversation about how competent the executives overseeing the DC films are.
I'll throw away the key.
Yeah.
We got a few things coming. There's like Aquaman 2, there's Wonder Woman 3, and there's Flashpoint, which is supposed to feature Ben Affleck and stuff, and that might pick up some of the plot lines from this. So I don't know. I would personally like to see a continuation on this now that I've seen the potential that it's got. But say la vie. Zack Snyder's got his fucking zombie movie coming out, and he'll be all right.
He'll be fine, mate. Yeah,
he's made his money. It's all right. Speaking of U-turns, though, Marvel have kind of backpedaled off their only in theaters stuff, which I think they should have done months and months and months ago, to be honest with you. But they're putting a few movies out on Disney Plus now, and this includes a new Pixar film and Cruella, but also Black Widow. So you have it, Jord. We're in black and white. We're getting an MCU movie this year, boss. 9th of July.
I'll believe it when I see it at this point.
It's a mythical movie that never even got made.
Yeah,
the Black Widow doesn't.
It doesn't exist.
You can't play chicken with a virus, mate. I'm surprised that it's taken Marvel this long to move. To be honest with you, it's not the Civil War kind of situation where you can say no, you move, because it's a virus. you can't reason with that, man. But it's shaken Marvel's whole slate up as well. So we're getting, if memory serves, we're getting Black Widow in July, followed by Shang-Chi in September. Eternals is still coming out in November, and then Spider-Man in December. So they've given themselves a little bit of breathing room there. Yeah, December 17th, I believe, is Spider-Man.
I think that'll change. That seems too close together. They'll have films. They'll have like 3 films in the cinema at the same time.
Yes, they'll all still be running, won't they?
I don't see that happening. I think one of them will get pushed back.
I hadn't considered that. They'll end up competing with each other. But obviously Sony's got a dog in the fight with Spider-Man, so I don't know whether they've made them. They've got to make you stick to that date. But it's kind of like when there's that saying, they're like, you wait for a bus and then 2 come along. It's like you wait for a year and a half for an MCU project, and then there's 4 of them back to motherfucking back. They on a related note to this as well, Warner Brothers won't be continuing its HBO Max experiment to 2022. Its slate of films will return to a theatrical release. So there's been stuff for years now, people saying that, you know, the movie theaters, the movie chains, their days are numbered, right? And eventually we're all going to be at home streaming, and it's all going to be on demand, and you won't get movie theaters anymore.
Disagree.
Exactly, because this situation kind of forced the hands of this whole streaming idea, and it hasn't really played out, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any lasting changes to the industry. Do you want to chime in on that?
It's just a fact that you will never make as much money streaming a film than you will in the cinemas. Endgame would not have made nearly $3 billion on streaming alone. It just wouldn't. A lot more people would have pirated it. Mm-hmm. People there are a lot of people, like the hardcore audience, will already have had Disney Plus, so they're not getting new subscriptions or anything like that. I can understand, like, at the birth of a streaming service, how it is worth it to put some of these high budget things on there to bring more people in and get long term gains from people forgetting they've got a subscription to HBO Max or whatever.
yeah.
But no, in the long term, they'll stick them in the cinemas because it makes them a lot more money. It's a business.
Yeah, that's good. I miss it's one of the things I miss the most about sort of being in lockdown for this long is the cinema experience. Just something as stupid as somebody shared on Facebook the other day. I missed this feeling so much, and it was just a picture of the stairs at the cinema. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you go into your chair, and yeah, man, I fucking miss it. You know, I miss meeting up with you or going out on dates with you.
Yeah, with me. Yeah, as I say, we've been to the cinema a lot. Us too.
We have. Probably like a questionable amount. Probably like probably a strange amount for two guys too. But no, there's no real substitute there for the cinema experience. So I'm kind of glad that's sort of not continuing, and whether other streaming services will follow suit. It certainly looks like they are. They're missing some big draws this year, though. Like, what's coming to HBO Max and cinemas where they are open this year is Wonder Woman 84. Obviously, that's already been out. Godzilla vs Kong, which comes out this week. Then Mortal Kombat. Then The Suicide Squad. Then June.
Sorry, Jay. What was before The Suicide Squad?
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat! You should have seen the waveform on my Audacity here, just spike. But no, those are some big hitters, man, to not have in the cinema. So you are probably losing money. So it's making the best of a bad situation. It's like, we don't want to delay all these films. And we've got this streaming service that we've got exclusivity with, so let's utilise it while we kind of have to. But that's your lot. And hopefully everything will sort of go back to normal in 2022, and we can get on with our precious lives. I've got a batch of reviews for Godzilla vs Kong.
Go on then.
It's not looking good, lad.
Oh.
I almost don't want to read this out. It's pretty much exactly what we thought and what we've said on this pod. Big monkey versus lizard. Hey, human. Boo.
Yeah.
So the Empire's got the worst one here. All right, so it's Empire Online, and it's a 2 out of 5 star, and they describe it. Godzilla vs Kong mostly delivers on its promise of big monster fighting another big monster. It just depends whether you're willing to sit through the toe-curlingly bad setup that surrounds it. That is fucking intense.
Oh, Jay,
man.
I'm so sorry, mate.
A crushingly mediocre, cliche bloated sci-fi movie. It's like, fuck me, dude. That is intense.
I'm sorry for your loss. I really am.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you. There's Total Film and the Aussie reviewer. They both give it 3 stars, and every review is praising the monster fights, and that's what I go into this for. I'm not expecting high art. I want to see Godzilla. I was going to say Godzilla fighting King Kong, and I want it to look flashy, and I want it to look cool, and I want Godzilla to win, and that's all I want from this.
I want it in a good film, though. I want all of those things in a good film. Because
toe-curlingly bad setup. That's
rough.
scathing, man. Yeah. What else have I got here?
if this is from the Aussie reviewer, if King of the Monsters tickled you, then this monstrous battle should suffice. If not, and you want your mindless action to have a little bit more intelligence, this is one fight not worth the spectacle for.
Oh no.
Sorry, one fight not worth the spectator fee. It's like that kicks it while it's staring as well.
Well, we'll watch it and we'll talk about it.
We'll give it a watch. I'm looking forward to it. Fuck these guys, these professional critics.
They don't know what they're talking about, do they?
Time. No, mate, no. Who's even heard of Total Film? Like,
but a total farce. That's...
Total, more like fucking Empire, more like fucking shit.
Yeah, you tell them, mate.
Yeah, I'm taking it to big business here. I'm taking on the film critic industry. They don't know what they're talking about. And all that being said, it's tracking for a $90 billion... No, it's not. No, it's not. No film's ever made $90 billion. It's tracking for a $90 million opening weekend. So that's not a bad chunk of change for a toe-curlingly bad monster movie or whatever they said. It makes me sad though. I want one of these films, at least one, at some point to be critically praised. That would be great. Do you know what I mean? I require that validation. But hey ho. Ghost of Tsushima's got a movie in the works, pal. Like I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that, and it was like, okay, another rumor, but it's not. It's been confirmed by Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions, and they've pulled off a perler because the director is Chad Stahelski. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. The director of John Wick. So
okay.
That is good from an action standpoint, and from base level, that's gonna look incredible, man.
Yeah,
like I cannot wait for that. Like I think we might be out of the woods in terms of shit video game movies. Do you remember, like, every video game movie was shit?
Sonic broke the curse.
That's what I was about to say. And then no, it was Detective Pikachu that broke the curse. I know Pokemon's
all right, I'll give you that.
Pokemon transcends it, but Detective Pikachu, Mortal Kombat looks like it's going to be good, and Sonic, and this has got not only PlayStation Productions, which is like their film division that isn't Sony Pictures, but also they've got Sucker Punch in there overseeing the production of the movie as well. They've got people who actually made the game in there.
Okay.
I don't want to see Keanu Reeves as Jin Sakai though. This needs to have a Japanese cast. I don't want to see this if it's going to be whitewashed or Hollywoodized or whatever.
Oh, I don't think it would be.
I doubt it as well, but this needs to have like a Japanese. Ideally, it'll be in Japanese and fucking subtitled, you know what I mean? Ideally, or at least have a Kurosawa cut with it, you know. But that's probably a little bit too idealized. But I don't want to see. Do you remember Ghost in the Shell? And that's based on Japanese anime. And then Scarlett Johansson was in the lead role. I don't want none of that shit. Is basically what I'm saying. I don't want them to.
I didn't see it.
Whitewash it, but. You didn't? No, I didn't see it either. But
no, it looked bad.
No, I didn't see it either. I just remember the whole fucking conversation around it sort of being whitewashed and stuff like that. So what do you think, Jord? If you core play it, are you gonna go see it?
Yeah, man, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Like that director's a good get. It's a really good.
Yeah,
get.
it is to be fair, but I'm not the biggest fan of the John Wick films, but the action's good.
That's what I'm saying. From a action standpoint, I like what they do in the John Wick films. I nearly said John of Tsushima. In John of Tsushima, right?
Yeah.
Or the Ghost of Wick, they do a lot of creative stuff in terms of the kind of. I've heard it be described as like kung fu with guns or gun fu. It's sort of like it's not just like cover shooting. It's like hand to hand, but with guns as well, and I like that aspect of it, and I think that's gonna translate well to kind of samurai sword fights and things like that. So, one of a game I like is getting a film with a good director. So,
congratulations!
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Like, I feel like I started from the bottom and now I'm like right here.
Yeah. I am having Warcraft movie flashbacks a little bit when you said that.
Yeah, they hurt you, didn't they, man?
Like,
what was your takeaway from that film when you saw it? Like...
Duncan Jones is not as good as a director as I thought he was.
I think that year was a bad year for both of us, man. 2015, because you were really excited about the Warcraft movie, and I was really excited about Evolve. So I brought Evolve day one, resale price. Came into work the next day. Me and George used to work together. George's like, "How's Evolve, Jay?" Oh, I don't want to fucking talk about it. a couple of months go past. George's really looking forward to the Warcraft movie. Comes into work the next day. "How was Warcraft, George?" I don't want to fucking talk about it. So it was just a tough year for both of us.
It was. It hurt.
Do you know what else hurts, mate? It's the end of a fucking era. I turned 30 this year. And this is the last gasping breath of my childhood, or my youth, as it were, being crushed into dust. Right. Because both the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are being officially committed to memory this week. So I don't know if you heard the PSP and the PS3 online stores. They're shutting down.
I did hear that, yeah.
And also Xbox Live is being renamed and rebranded as Xbox Network. So we've got, yeah, and it's in a move that's not going to confuse anyone, right? Because it's to distinguish the fact that Xbox Live Gold is a premium service. So you don't have Xbox Live unless you've got Xbox Live Gold, but you can have access to the Xbox Network at any time. That's kind of how they've
How completely simple and not confusing. Who had a fucking problem with this?
Phil Spencer? Phil Spencer had a problem.
I'm so confused. I paid for one thing, but I didn't get another thing. What?
I don't know. Oh. I don't know where this came from. The upshot of it is that there's certain titles that are only available via the PS Store. So I don't know what's going to happen to those games now. Are they going to get any further support? Are they going to be added to PlayStation now? Ideally, you'd want to see some sort of backwards compatibility with the PS5, wouldn't you? Like to actually play.
A lot of things will be lost to time, but there are game preservationists out there that will have catalogues. These games will live on in the hearts of emulators for years to come.
Oh, that's deep, man. That's deep. It's like we're speaking a wait for these fucking things, man. I didn't know Xbox Live as a person, but I did know it as a gaming platform that informed my very early online gaming life. Do you know what I mean? And like even as somebody who's... did you have a 360? I don't think you played Xbox, did you?
I've had multiple 360s on... But I never really did online or anything.
You never did any Xbox Live. You got no Xbox Live memories.
No. I managed to avoid all of that. Thank God.
I indulged, man. And it's a product of its time. And I was going to say, even as somebody if somebody's never played it or never used it, you probably know the layout of the dashboard because it's one of those very iconic kind of gaming dashboards, the avatars, the original set of avatars, like the kid in the beanie blowing a bubble, and those kinds of guys, and
sure.
They're kind of...
Sure, yeah. Let's just go with that.
Maybe they're not as iconic as I think they are.
They probably are, just not really to me. I had a 360 to play Peggle and Trials, and what was the other game? Marble Blast Ultra. That was why I had a 360. So I'm not the person to ask.
I remember when that guy came out at that one E3 one year to announce Peggle 2, and he was just so excited about it, but nobody matched his excitement.
I matched that excitement. Peggle is a phenomenal game. Love me some Peggle. Oh, really do.
I do apologise. Are you ready for some definitive Pokemon research data? I could tell you, out of those first 151 Pokemon, I can tell you now what is scientifically the most popular Pokemon in the world, or the top 10. There is
okay. Is it Charizard or Pikachu?
It's both of them.
Okay.
They're on there, but there is a website called the Toy Zone, and what they've done is absolutely beautiful. They're using their Google search data to ascertain the most popular Pokemon of every single region on the planet. And it's a beautiful study. They've got a map and everything. It's I don't often talk about like the sources and stuff and say you've got to go and check this out, but the Toy Zone's Pokemon study is fucking awesome, man. So the top 10 Pokemon in the world, based on YouTube search data, Google search data, sorry. First and foremost, it's Pikachu and Charizard, as you would expect.
Yeah.
But then in third place is Onyx,
What?
which I wouldn't see coming.
No.
And then Mewtwo, and then Eevee,
Those two
Gengar,
make sense. Yeah.
Mew, Snorlax, Lapras, and Gyarados.
I'm surprised
those
Lapras is above Gyarados. Maybe if Gyarados was easier to spell for kids, he'd be higher on the list.
Yeah. I wonder whether it counts if you have to click the "Did you mean Gyarados" and not Gyarados. So, by region, I've got Charizard is leading the charge in Europe. He's popular in 9 countries. Russia loves Mew. The USA loves Gengar. Onyx is far and away the most popular Pokemon in South America, and that's why he ends up being number 3.
Okay.
I don't understand. I've never thought Onyx as one of the world's most popular Pokemon, like number 3 behind Charizard.
No, it's just Onyx, the anal bead Pokemon.
Maybe no, it's not going to be a kink thing. That's not going to be the reason. But I wouldn't have thought like the franchise mascot, followed by the most popular starter from that generation, and then Onyx. I wouldn't have called that. And oddly enough, Blastoise and Venusaur, or even Bulbasaur and Squirtle, they're not on that top 10. They're not one of the most searched for.
I mean, I'm not surprised with Venusaur and that, but I'm surprised Squirtle or Blastoise aren't.
But
Lapras, I don't get Lapras.
I don't have any data for why Lapras is on there here. India has Paris.
What?
I know. It's weird. The Australians love Machamp, and what do you think the most popular Pokemon in Japan is?
Pikachu?
Had to guess. Try again. Close.
I don't know.
Eevee.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah. And I could see that. Like, so, do you want to know what the most unpopular ones are? The 10 least searched for. The rejects of the Pokemon world.
Metapod?
Not on here. Kakuna is.
Okay, yeah, that makes...
Yep.
I'm surprised about
that,
but...
Would you like to venture another guess?
Oh...
He's picturing that Pokedex.
I'm
he's doing that poker rap in his head. Like, what Pokemon have we got?
Goldeen?
Diglett. Yes.
Yeah.
well done. So we got Goldeen, Weeping Bell.
Which order's this?
Second.
Which order's this?
This is from best to worst. So I'm going like I suppose it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the least popular. So Goldeen, Weeping Bell, Doduo and Dodrio, Spearow, which I'm surprised about because Spearow was in the first episode. You know what I mean? Like even from that standpoint, maybe it gets searched up a little bit. Venonat, Kakuna, Mr. Mime, which also surprises me because even just out of a morbid curiosity, somebody's got to have searched up Mr. Mime.
For Mr. Mime, it might be because of they stopped using that Pokemon in a lot of media, didn't they? As far as I remember.
No, he had quite a big part in.
Oh no, sorry, I'm
Pikachu.
I'm thinking of the other humanoid Pokemon, Jinx.
Oh yeah, that was considered very, very racist.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But that would also account for why Jinx isn't here down at the least searched, because being a cause of controversy. That's probably why Porygon's not down here either. If it's based purely on search
Porygon's
data.
cool, man.
I know, but he caused them seizures though, day
He did, mate. Yeah, that war call that was not cool.
To be fair, actually, in the context of that episode, it's actually Pikachu that causes the seizures. It's just the episode title was the Soldier Porygon, or the Electric Soldier Porygon, so he got lumbered for Pikachu's mistake.
God damn you, Pikachu.
But the king and queen of unpopularity, according to this study, are the Nidorans. That being the Nidoran male and the Nidoran female. And I don't know whether it's because of that little symbol. I don't know whether it takes into account that if you Google Nidoran in general, does that count towards the data?
I think that's surprising, because they're quite common Pokemon in the game, so I would feel like people would be searching up to see if they're any good. Like, I wouldn't... That list is filled with Pokemon that you don't really see in the games that much.
Yeah, apart from those two. So it would make sense that, like I said, it's the little symbol that's fucking up the data there. Maybe it's not as conclusive as I thought it was. Huh? We're calling you out, fucking, what were you called? The toy zone. You need to do the whole thing again. There are variables here.
Definitely.
We don't have to talk about this, but check this out. Check this out for a headline. Right, and I've got it in big black letters in front of me. And I didn't realise that Murdoch was running the show over at these IGN kind of websites at the moment. But have a look at this for fear-mongering.
Okay, go for it.
Dealers are using Fortnite to groom kids as drug mules.
Oh my god.
That's the headline. And apparently it's a real thing, and people are offering kids V-Bucks as payment to sell drugs for them. This is from the Times. Fucking leave our kids alone, you dirty bastards. That ain't on.
Mate, I've been saying Fortnite is no good. Fortnite is bad.
It's not a great environment for these kids to be on, man. But yeah, you gotta talk to your kids if they're playing these video games. That's all you gotta do. Just make them aware of this. Do you know what I mean? If somebody comes on and asks you to do anything dodgy for V-Bucks, just fucking don't do it and tell me about it as your parent. Do you know what I mean? That's all you gotta do.
Buy your kids V-Bucks so they don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. Look, if you don't buy it for them, right, they're gonna find a way to get it, and this might end up with them becoming drug mules. So the moral of the story is definitely to spoil your kids and give in to those demands.
Spend money on Fortnite. That's what it is.
Spend money on Fortnite. Yeah. Do Fortnite, not drugs. Right, so we've reached a section of the show called Sad as a Pan or Down on the Ground. We have got some trailers and announcements in front of us. We're going to run them down super quickly. We're going to tell you whether we think they're sad as a pan or down on the ground. So, big trailer this week, mates. The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. Sad as a pan or down on the ground?
Down on the ground.
Thank you so much, mate. Everybody was sucking this thing's dick, and it's... Go on.
You go. So fucking boring. It's not a good trailer. Not much happens in this. It wasn't a well edited trailer either. I don't
definitely
think. Not. It just didn't make me want to watch it. I wanted to watch this film a lot more before I saw this trailer.
Same. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to feel like James Gunn. Right, I wasn't expecting it to feel like Guardians of the Bastard Galaxy. Do you know what I mean? Even in terms of the song that they used in the trailer, it's like you could have picked a different era, James. This is exactly what worked about Guardians of the Galaxy pasted onto a DC palette. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't like that. I don't know why I didn't like it. There's just something sits wrong about this trailer to me. Like you said, it's fairly boring as well. That being said, I did laugh with Idris Elba and the, we're all gonna die, and the guy goes, "Oh, I hope so," and you goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" I did laugh out loud.
I didn't laugh. I thought none of the jokes in this landed for me.
That was the only one.
Like when that one was like, ha 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 ha. Millennial humour, haha.
Hey guys, you know, remember fidget spinners? We remember them, don't we?
Us superheroes want to kill ourselves too. We're just like you, millennials.
Let's go!
$3.
$3. Don't do drugs.
Oh fuck.
Nah, I'm probably going to end up liking King Shark. That's what I took away from this trailer. I'm probably going to end up liking that character. It's just fucking Sylvester Stallone doing his voice. I didn't know that.
Is it? I didn't know that either. Yeah. That's good.
Bad trailer.
Down on the ground.
What about Godzilla versus that guy that keeps saying we need Kong, the world needs him in every trailer?
Down on the ground, Jay.
Down on the ground. I liked it for what it was. I'm put up sand on the ground because it's similar things that we've seen before. It's not any new dialogue, but it's a nice bit of edited a show reel of what we can expect from it with monster action, and then we get a little tiny
There wasn't much in this that we haven't already seen, apart from
Mechagodzilla.
And we didn't really see that much of Mechagodzilla, which is good. You want some stuff left for the film, for Christ's sake.
I would have preferred just not to know that he was in it, to be honest with you. It doesn't fill me full of excitement for the movie.
No, pointless trailer.
Yeah, just the fact of like confirming him via putting toys out there and then confirming him in a trailer, because this is going to be the classic, we're going to fight, and then we've got a common enemy now, and we've got to work together, and there won't be any kind of definitive winner to this, and that's not what we've been sold on. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm still looking for it. It's fucking Godzilla, man. I'm a simple guy. What you want from me? I'll shill a little bit for Godzilla, I think. But yeah.
Hope you enjoy it, mate. I'm not bothered.
I'm not holding my breath after this podcast, mate.
No, it's not looking good for you.
No. So Scott Pilgrim's getting a re-release, which is probably good news for you.
I like Scott Pilgrim. Why would I? You tell me. Sell this to me. Why do I need to give a shit about it getting re-released when I can already go downstairs and watch it whenever I want?
Well, I suppose because of the sort of like the upswing in technology. Because the main thing is that it's going to be a Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos kind of cut, which probably doesn't make a massive difference to yourself, because you don't really care.
I don't.
Something like that.
I don't care.
But somebody like me, who is developing a steelbook collection of 4K Blu-rays and things like that, and likes to watch things like that, that's probably going to come in handy as one of my favourite films that I've ever seen. To have that in its best quality picture, best quality sound, I'm going to want that. And it gets another run at. It gets another run at the cinema as well, so it might actually make some money this time, because like very famously flopped when it originally came out. But I think that the landscape. I know, but I think the landscape of sort of like the film going audience has kind of changed a lot since then. So it might actually get a little bit more of a successful run this time, and also the film itself has found its following on digital release. So
yeah, I love this film. I really love this film.
We really love you, mate.
Oh, bless you.
I'm happy for you. The last thing that I've got on here is that Back for Blood has been delayed, which I've got to give Dan on the ground.
I'll say £1 a pound for Scott Pilgrim, just because it's maybe more people will see it. That's it.
It's a film that you love, getting another crack at the whip and another day in the sun almost. Do you know what I mean? So more people are gonna see it. It might have a little bit more of a fondly remembered kind of run. But yeah, Back for Blood being delayed, I've got to put that down on the ground. It's being pushed back only a couple of months. This is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead that I've spoken about before. We're getting an open beta in the summer to soften the blow, allowing all players an opportunity to test the game before it comes out. So what's the eye roll?
Open beta is just fucking. Ugh.
I don't have much experience with them, to be honest with you. Like, I was thinking of jumping on for this one. What's bad? What's
it's more. It's just like I just find them completely unnecessary. Open betas. What is that telling the developers that they can't find out by a closed beta?
Or actually play testing it yourself.
Yeah, paying good money to get it play tested properly instead of getting people to volunteer to do it, which they can do. It's totally up to them. I'd rather just the game comes out and it's ready because the game studio have done their job.
It's not happening, mate. It's not, tough shit.
It's not happening, is it?
You're asking the impossible there, mate. You want us to finish the game and put it out in a finished. No, it's not happening. It's
I
not
forgot what year it is. I forgot what.
Another thing, right? When I saw this and put it on the document, the picture that came with it as the thumbnail was not Back 4 Blood. It was Evolve. And as someone who fucking brought Evolve, the last thing that Turtle Rock Studio wants to do when it's marketing a new game is remind people that it made Evolve. That is the last fucking thing that you want ever to be reminded of.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we'll never be able to play it together because if I do get it, it'll be on PC.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. We're living in an age of cross-platform functionality, so potentially, but
maybe.
Potentially, yeah. But no, it is going to be. It is something I'm looking forward to be honest with you, it's not up there as one of my most anticipated projects, but it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. And do you know what? Yeah,
I like Left 4 Dead. Fun.
I love
very
Left 4
fun
Dead.
Games.
Love it. I know this isn't quite Left 4 Dead, but it is the developers of the original.
It's like Left 3 Dead.
Left 3 Dead. There's got to be a better name there. Try. Nah, I've got nothing. There, man. But no, that's it. That's everything.
Hang on, I must have something.
Go on. Three. So
Left 4 Broken Arm.
Shut up! No.
Left 4 A Bit of a Cold.
Left out for too long and now it's gone off. We're gonna chuck it away.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us this week when we had no podcast. We still managed to get 1 or 2 subscribers and the views are still looking good, even though we had nothing really to push last week. So all the support that we get, it goes a long fucking way. You can leave us a comment, you can subscribe, you can follow us everywhere that you can get a fucking podcast, and it's all very much appreciated. Yeah, awesome. So I think we will be right back with you.
We will indeed, yes.
Awesome.
For the topic,
yes,
which is
Falcon Winter Soldier first impressions.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Okay,
I think
let's
so.
do that. We'll talk about. Okay.
Nice one. We can discuss it on the break. I don't know whether I've got enough to say about that to fill a full topic.
No, but I kind of don't want to talk about Justice League, so we'll see. We'll be back with something.
You're avoiding that, ain't you? Go on, we'll work something out. I've got to take this off. I am wearing, this isn't a shirt, I'm wearing my partner's shawl because I'm fucking comfortable with my sexuality, dude.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I wear those at work. I'll take Kate's to work with me sometimes because I am also comfortable with my sexuality.
I'll give you a little bit high five. Nice one, guys. We'll catch you in a little bit. Well, we'll catch you instantly, but like in real life.
Unless Acast have actually started giving us adverts on the audio-only version.
Yes,
because I'll
that would
insert
be
them
awesome.
here. But
that would be awesome. Listen to an advert right now, and whatever it is, buy it.
Give me a penny.
I don't care what it is. I don't give a fuck, but you need it. All right. It could be weed killer, and you ain't got a garden. You need it. You never know when you're gonna have to weed kill your way out of a tight situation.
You'd be on your way to work, right? Just like every other day, but all of a sudden there's a big fucking weed in your way, and your boss is gonna kill you if you don't get to it. You've got a project due today, and it's a big project. It's been stressing you out for a few months, to be fair. Anyway, sorry.
I feel like that you were drawing from your own experience there.
Nah, buy the weed killer.
Buy weed killer and use discount code Mukka for 20% off your weed killer. You need it, son. Nice one. All right, thank you ever so much, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody.
We've just sat here, for about 25 minutes talking about Falcon Winter Soldier, and Jordan has had his microphone muted.
Yes.
The entire time.
Yeah, so apparently Jay's hearing me through a different microphone that's not this one, because while readjusting my pop filter, I have pressed the fucking mute button.
Well, don't do it again while demonstrating.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What do we think about Falcon Winter Soldier then, Jord? What's to be said that hasn't been said already?
I'm sorry, Jay.
It's all right. It's all right, mate. I'll start. That's right. So, basically, with this show, which did have the most watched premiere of all the Disney Plus shows so far, so that's no small feat. So it's beaten WandaVision, it's beaten both the Mandalorian seasons, and this was the premiere that got watched the most. I'm very aware that it's early days, but I'm not sure that I'm enthralled by what's going on currently, what's being put on screen. When you make it Falcon and Winter Soldier, which they do in this new episode, they finally put them together. I'm not 100% on board with their dynamic, and they seem to be forcing quite a fair bit of humour in there that doesn't really play for me. It comes off as they're trying too hard to be funny, rather than kind of letting it flow naturally. Because I like their dynamic together in Civil War, and from what little that we saw of it,
I feel like they should be. I feel like we've seen them become better friends than this by now. This is almost like it takes place after Civil War, but they've been through a lot since then.
It depends on when it takes place in the timeline, because it's like it's just after Endgame, isn't it? So let's work this out. So Civil War, mate. No, they haven't really become better friends, because like you come out of Civil War and Bucky goes to Wakanda, and then they fight together in Infinity War, and then they both get dusted. So so they are still kind of building a relationship.
I just meant like at the end of Endgame, and he's like, when Bucky's like, go and get your shield. He seemed all right with him. But it's like, we don't like, we're not friends.
I bet he regrets that now, though. Old Bucky Barnes, like, you could have been Captain America, mate. Like, this guy gave the shield away, and now some rando guy is wielding it and being the new Captain America, right? So I didn't hate the guy like everybody on the internet seemed to. Like, at the end of the first episode, there were a lot of memes about this new Captain America. I don't know if you saw him, that he was on screen for like 0.5 of a second, and everybody hated him just for the principle of wearing the costume and having the shield. I didn't have that visceral reaction, and then when they came back to it in this week's episode, I didn't hate him in that first kind of prologue when he's giving the interview and you sort of see who he is, kind of.
Yeah, I thought he seemed all right. And he looked ridiculous in the helmet, but come on, look at Chris Evans in Avengers, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they're going for that though, aren't they? I mean, it takes a very particular type of person to look good in an outfit like that, and luckily Chris Evans is one of them. But you can't just translate that then to some rando in the street and have it look as good. But by the end of the episode, I think like, yeah, you are a bit of a dick, aren't you?
Well, I also kind of think that Bucky and Falcon were being a bit of a dick to him as well.
Him and his mate.
They were a bit like butthurt because it's not the bloke's fault. He didn't take the shield personally. It's a government thing. He's just a pretty good soldier that's been selected to do it. So
it's not his fault that you decided to,
it's not his fault that you trusted the US government, mate. Don't you watch the fucking news, Sam? For fuck's sake.
It's not his fault that you were too much of a bitch to try and be Captain America yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because that's why he did it, and that'll come to light. I'm sure that will come to light in the coming episodes, and that this is my prevailing theory. And I'm not getting into another, the leader of the Flag Smashers behind the mask is Wolverine, it's Mephisto. I'm not getting into that bullshit again. But my one prevailing theory for this is that it'll come to light that Sam was scared. He was too scared to be Captain America. He was intimidated to fill those shoes. It's not a legacy thing. It's not a no, your shield deserves to be on display because it belongs to you. He personally felt like he couldn't have filled those shoes and he couldn't have been Captain America. It comes down to his own inadequacies, and I hope that gets explored. The most captivating thing about the show so far, for me at least, is sort of what Bucky was doing in that first episode, because I like what Bucky was getting up to in the first episode, sort of where we pick up with him. He's been pardoned, he's getting therapy, he's kind of atoning for his Simmons for his
atoning for his Gene Simmons
for his sins.
You're right, Jay.
I like when we pick up with him, but I don't like that boat fucking plotline.
Yeah, that's
with
very,
Sam.
Very boring.
Yeah, trying to get a loan, move away from that. Like, I was sat there with Kira, we were watching it together, and I liked what I was looking at, but then I wasn't overly captivated by it. And then it cut to him and his family, and they were talking about the boat, and then it cut to him in the bank, and then it cut to him again on the boat, and I was just sat there, and at the third one I said to Kira, like, oh, I don't know how much I care about this boat. Oh, I want him to move on from
boat
this.
is my favourite Avenger.
You got a boat for a face, and then that's his superpower. Can you imagine that in Endgame? Like, the portals are opening, and you know that musical cue where Giant Man comes out of the Avengers base? It's that, but instead it's just this big boat that comes out. Your favourite Avenger. I love it, man. And fucking Falcon's up there in the crow's nest like Jack Sparrow, holding on to it. No, yeah. How do superheroes earn money? That was a question that's never sort of been.
Well, I think everyone just assumed that Stark was. He's mentioned in the past that he was paying the bills, hasn't he?
But apparently not. And like,
he's a stingy cunt, isn't he?
Yeah, trust me. How in the hell of it do you not have some kind of... Because even now in the real world, we've got the furlough scheme and shit like that. Imagine if half the population had vanished for 5 years. Like, you wouldn't have some sort of... Because they wouldn't give them a loan because they had no financial history for the last 5 years. Like, you wouldn't have some contingency for your customers.
Yeah, that's a bit stupid, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it a racial thing? Is that what they're trying to say? Is it like social commentary?
Maybe. I mean, possibly... It hasn't been outright said, but there was a bit of that in this episode with the police.
There was the Baltimore cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sort of giving him a hard time until they found out who he was.
Oh, by the way, spoilers for the first 2 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've done it again, mate.
This is what we'll do. This is how we'll get more views, because we'll put this up like Falcon Winter Soldier spoiler free first impressions. That could be the title of the episode. Okay. And then we'll just get people in the comments like, you sons of bitches,
engagement perfect.
And it's engagement. Yeah, it's exactly.
Oops, Lord, sorry.
Lord. Yeah. Go on. Sorry, I feel like we were getting to a good point there, because that's kind of intriguing, isn't it? Are we supposed to know who that guy is that he takes him to see? What's his name? Like,
no, I think
Isaiah or something like that.
Isaiah. I think it was I think it's a new character that was one of the many. It's been mentioned before that there have been lots of experiments after following Steve Rogers to try and recreate it, and this person looks to be one of those experiments.
Yep, he seems to be another Winter Soldier as well, because doesn't he? Because Bucky's like, there's not many people out there like us, or he says something like that
I think
to him.
by us he means Super Soldier, because he speaks to him like he talks to him as a Hydra person they've fought in the past.
Right.
It's, you know.
Oh yeah, and he says like, your people weren't done with me, I've been in Hydra, and then Bucky gets arrested. But before that, the police give Sam a little bit of attitude, don't they? And
they do, yeah.
I think that's definite social commentary. It's not like it's not like the lone thing where you can kind of look at that, you sort of like snooty white guy who's sort of being all kind of high and mighty with them, almost condescending when they're in the bank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can kind of look into that, like, are they trying to say something with this? But that second one, that they are definitely, and I don't mind it. I don't mind.
No, it just makes it more realistic.
Realistic, exactly.
This is modern America, supposedly, that this takes place in, and as we all know, it's a thing that happens. Unfortunately, it's a problem that's. Well, you've seen the news in the past year, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you've turned on a TV, you know that it's a bit of it's not a very progressive place, is it?
Not recently.
Modern America.
But we're two white guys from England, so we'll stick to talking about the TV show.
Comic books, that's absolutely
stuff,
yeah.
Anime.
What is the deal with Baron Zemo? He's in the second episode right at the end. Spoiler alert. And they're going to go and talk to him about his involvement with the Flag Smashers, I believe. That's what they're saying.
I don't know. I don't know if it's
some shit about
something about that. I don't know why they're going to fucking see him.
I'm not sure what's going on. The more I think,
because we know he's in it, and we know he's going to be free later on. But he's in prison at the moment, so which one of them is going to fuck up and let him out of jail by accident? Is what I want to know.
Bucky.
Probably, yeah.
Bucky.
Probably Bucky.
Well, that's going to be a nice, not a nice. It's going to be a nice. That's going to be an interesting interaction, isn't it? To see Winter Soldier and Zemo come face to face.
Do you reckon he's going to start listing all the keywords like?
They're in the credits, aren't they? You see him on a post-it note.
Oh, do you? I hadn't paid that attention. I hadn't paid attention to that. But yeah, he might just start listing them off to try and cause a bit of trouble.
I think that he was deprogrammed, wasn't he? Completely in Wakanda, so they wouldn't work now. That would be fucking good though if he tries and it doesn't work, or something potentially. So yeah, I want to see more of that random Japanese guy, because like I said, that was the most engaging. I don't think I ever finished my point on that one, actually. That was the most engaging part of the whole show so far, to sort of pick up with Bucky and see how he's kind of dealing with trauma by atoning for his kind of past misdeeds, for people he wronged when he was under Hydra's control as the Winter Soldier, haunted by nightmares, and then he is getting lunch with this old Japanese guy. And it comes to light that he actually murdered this Japanese guy's son.
Yeah.
And that to me was the kind of like the beating heart of that whole first episode.
Oh, really?
And but weirdly enough, that plot line and the boat plot line, they weren't in the second episode or even referenced at all. It's like, is that just world setting or scene setting? Do you know what I mean? Like this is what they were up to, but we're not going to touch on that now because we've got to go and have a superhero adventure and stuff. So yeah.
I apologise, Jay. You had a mouse on your chest for a little bit. But yeah, I've got a little bit of trivia that you definitely didn't hear 15 minutes ago about the Japanese guy in episode 1.
I actually think it's fairly interesting. So go on.
Yeah. So I follow a couple of people on Twitter that are native Japanese, and they're learning English because I am native English, learning Japanese. So a couple of interactions help each other learn the languages and stuff like that. And one of the guys I follow, He's a big MCU fan, tweets about it a lot. But he pointed out that the Japanese guy in episode 1 apparently not very good at speaking Japanese. Apparently he could tell he's not a native speaker. Maybe he is, and he's just not. Maybe he is, and this guy's just
maybe they
snooty.
just used a bad take. Yeah, maybe they just used a bad take and didn't realise it was a bad take or
exactly.
something. I don't
God
know.
knows, but yeah, this claims that he's not. Anyway, this person who is a Japan. He's a Japan
yeah, well,
man.
fucking message him then. I'll tell you what, mate. You fucking come and do it then.
Yeah.
You think you're so good? It's not easy being an actor, all right?
You tell him, Jay.
I fucking will. Do they listen to this podcast or?
No, God no, of course not.
No. Why not, Jord? Come on, man.
Sorry.
Outreach, mate. Yeah, we're gonna have to see where it goes. I'm not totally. It's not something that I sat down with and I'm like instantly. I'm into this like I was with WandaVision or like the past 2 Mandalorian seasons. It's something that's like. I might have to give this a couple of episodes to see whether I actually finish it.
I'll definitely finish. Oh God, I'll definitely finish it, and so will you for this podcast. But
okay, all right, yeah, I've got it. If I didn't do this podcast though, I wouldn't be watching it week by week. I'd wait for it to
I
settle
definitely
down
think
and
this
then
is
watch
a
it
show
altogether.
that would be aided by that, because I feel like it would play out quite well as like a 5-hour movie, essentially.
Or just a movie in general, man. It would have been cool to get this kind of premise, but with the Russos behind it, because this is supposed to be. It's got that feel of a Winter Soldier, Civil War kind of thing. It's even got the same. Composer, Henry Jackman. He's doing some music for it, and the Falcon themes, the Winter Soldier themes. They're in there, so that's cool to hear. It sort of makes it so this is kind of cut from the same cloth as that. Potentially, I would have liked to have seen this as a movie rather than a series. I think it's not really lending itself.
I'll take it as a series.
To a series
I like having something MCU to look forward to every week. I'm good. I'll take it. And to be honest, I did enjoy the most recent episode. It wasn't, it's not groundbreaking so far, but it's good watching. I like superheroes, so I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. The only thing to me, it's like, yes, I do enjoy it, and I enjoy aspects of it, but the thing's called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? And I'm not sure how sold I am on their dynamic together. Okay. I think their scenes together are a little bit stilted, and I don't know whether that's just me, but I don't think either of them are particularly amazing actors, and especially Sebastian Stan in this latest episode. Like you see him watching that TV report at the beginning with the new Captain America, and he looks incensed by that. Like, how the fuck has Sam done this? Do you know what I mean? Cap trusted him, and you think he's going to hit the fucking roof, and then when you see him, Sam's coming down the stairs, and Bucky goes, "You had no right to give up that shield." And I swear his delivery's like that, like proper deadpan.
I mean, fair, if that's what you think, that's fair. I didn't notice anything. I think they're both fine in it. I hadn't noticed anything. Nothing's taken me out of the show.
It's all
at least.
It's all fine. The woman in the Flag Smashers, the British woman, took me out of the show a little bit, because I don't think she's a native. I don't think she's a native. Sorry, I don't think she's a British person. I think that's a British accent that's come from dialect coaching lessons. I don't think that's a natural.
No. Again, didn't
British
bother me. I guess nothing really bothers me. Is what we're learning.
You've got it, but you're invincible now. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a new outlook on life.
Yeah, that's me.
You died and got reborn last week.
I felt like I died.
Completely managed to avoid talking about the Snyder Cuts.
Yeah.
Are we going to spend 15 minutes talking about the Snyder Cut? I don't think we are we?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Are you done with this?
I am done. I am done with this. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm not. It's not my favourite.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, but we'll come back to it probably at the end of the series.
Yeah, we'll do what we did with WandaVision. If anything bombshell happens, or what we think is bombshell, I suppose the only other thing to mention is that the guy that is working with Sam at the beginning, the internet loves him.
and also that is the Falcon from the comics. Where in the comics Sam becomes Captain America, and that's the new Falcon. So that's probably where we're headed there as well. And there's some merchandise and toy leaks out there that you could look into if you wanted to, that might confirm a few things. I'm saying nothing. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've stayed, but I mean, you've basically just big spoiler warning for 30 seconds ago.
I can't fucking confirm or deny anything. You can look into it if you want. I'm not saying nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll leave it there. My question for you, Jay, is, Azitgewin, mate?
Woo! Azitgewin, what's going on? Tell us about all the shit that you've done. Azitgewin, a kid. How's it going, Jord? I'm good, man. I've been playing. I watched back our podcast where we were talking about video games the other week, and I noticed the spark in your eye when you were speaking about BioShock Infinite, and I was like, bloody hell! It's been a minute since I've played that. It's been about 8 years since I've played BioShock Infinite.
Longer than a minute, yeah.
Yeah, trust me. So I picked it back up again. I've been playing the PS4 remaster on PS5. So it's a PS3 game with a PS4 remaster being played on a PS5. So it's cross generational. This is, man.
Mate, isn't technology beautiful?
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, this game is absolutely incredible, man. I played it to completion when I was younger, and it turns out I remember very little of actual moments and how I've got the basic skeleton of how the plot progresses in my head and who these characters are, but it is pretty much like playing a brand new game. And because of where I know, it's because I know where it all ultimately ends up. I'm catching a lot of hints in dialogue. I don't know how much to give away. Do I spoil it? It's an 8-year-old game. I can
spoil it.
BioShock Infinite. Okay, so because at the end of the game you find out that not only are you Booker DeWitt, but you're also Zachary Comstock as well. Like, you're the same fucking person, and Elizabeth is your daughter. But not only that, but there are countless timelines where this has happened, and countless different versions of Elizabeth, and those two British people, they're kind of
the Latuses,
The Latuses, they're parallel versions of each other from different universes. Yeah. So at the beginning of the game, when you go up and you do a coin flip, and it's always heads, and he's got the tally on it, that is always you. And you catch shit like that when you go through the museum, and it says the prophet fought at Wounded Knee, and Booker did fight there, and he was like, he wasn't there, he's lying, I don't remember him being there. And it's like, yeah, well, hang on, he fucking was. It's fuck you. We're not going to know that for another 20 hours of gameplay, but it's you, man. so yeah, it kind of just reframes it for me, and I'm having a lot of fun playing through it again, and sort of coming back to Columbia and looking at it, I suppose, with a bit more of a critical eye as well, maybe a more developed, more adult brain. It's good, man. It's good. It's a great game.
Yeah, I played through it quite a few times, and the art style is definitely one of my favourite aspects of it.
Yeah, it's the character designs are a lot more. How would I describe it? Like the facial animations of them, they're a lot more Pixar than I remember them being. Is the best way I could do it. I could explain it. It's not like a photorealistic game from a animation standpoint. Elizabeth in particular reminds me of like a cartoon character, almost, in the way that she emotes and moves. But I seem to remember it being very photorealistic in my mind's eye, so that was
it's a bit cartoony.
Taken aback from me, so yeah.
But I think it works for that game.
It does. No, definitely. I'm not saying it doesn't, man. It's an amazing looking game. It's. I know it's a remaster, a HD remaster, but the game itself was still made, like I said, 8 years ago, and I'm astonished with how well it holds up just as a game. Although I do see that thing that you were talking about, where you go to a new area and you come across a door and it is a PNG.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Beautiful fucking environments and an immersive world, and then a fucking PNG door.
That fucking door, I swear to God. There's about 3 different flat colours on that door.
Yeah.
It's awful.
The remake's got a few graphical glitches and stuff like that as well, but nothing that's ruining my overall experience. So yeah, no, I'm having fun with it. How's it going with you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. So I was pretty fucked most of the week still. But I've picked up some new manga. Haven't had a chance to read any of it yet. But I am looking forward to reading the first 3 volumes of Girls' Last Tour.
Girls' Last Tour,
which is something I've been meaning to pick up for quite a while. It's basically the apocalypse has happened, and the only 2 people left on Earth are 2 girls, and that's pretty much all I know. But a lot of people have recommended it, so yeah, I'm looking forward to diving in over the next few days. Hopefully, I'll get back to you next week with a solid review.
I'm looking forward to that. The premise reminds me of do you know Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. That's the same kind of premise, but like gender flipped. So like the apocalypse happens, and this guy is the last man alive in a society of women. So that's the, sort of like the flipped script version of that.
Okay,
so,
fair enough.
Yeah,
and I'll get back to you. I've also got the a couple of weeks ago, you might remember, I read the first 2 volumes of Death Note.
Yeah. How's that working out for you?
Yes, so I've got the. I also plan on reading this week the next 4 volumes because I picked those up yesterday. It was payday this week, so.
George, stop buying manga, dude.
No,
it's all right.
I've got Jujutsu Kaisen on the way as well.
Amazing.
Finally managed to find
Have
a volume
you got
1.
Food?
No.
No.
I don't need food.
No, I don't need food. I need manga.
But also, I picked up a brand new game, Monster Hunter Rise.
Ooh.
This week.
Yes, I hear of this scum. What's the verdict?
Okay, so I've played about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so really, really early on. My first observation is they don't know how to start a fucking game.
Oh,
because it's basically here's lots of information and no gameplay for the first hour. Lots of information, lots of these are the controls, this is where things are, blah 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 blah. Instead of easing you into it, it's a while before you get out of the tutorial and actually go and fight a monster.
Capcom though, isn't it? It is Capcom. I'm
it is,
right
yeah.
Thinking that tends to be what they do, man.
And that sort of annoyed me a little bit. And then I'll go out and fight this monster, and I was fighting it for like half an hour earlier, and I'm just like, okay, what am I doing wrong? It's not dying. It didn't die. I just gave up. So I'm going to take a step back, watch some videos, figure out what the fuck I'm doing wrong. and come back to it. See if I can figure out. I don't know what I'm missing. So yeah, I'm gonna have another go. I'm not giving up on it yet. Especially you've got the nice Steelbook pre-order version as well.
It's beautiful, man. You're probably doing something wrong or missing a trick.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those games that's like ridiculously grindy. Because I haven't played Monster Hunter like ever, and this is your first Monster Hunter as well.
It is, yeah.
But it is a franchise that I think would tickle my pickle if I got into it. I've looked a lot at Monster Hunter World, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll get that. It's free on PS Plus. I'll download that and play it. But then to hear you say, you know, they ain't got no clue how to start a game, it's sort of take the foot off the gas.
It may be the worst introduction to a game I have ever played. Honestly, it was just so boring. If I hadn't just spent 40 quid on it, I'd have put it down.
That sucks.
But yeah, it's got great reviews. The people who like these games seem to love this one. It seems like something I'd enjoy. So I'm gonna stick with it. Watch this space.
It's your fault then. If the reviews
it probably
are good, and the fan
is my fault.
Good, it's your fault, man.
I probably skipped a piece of tutorial that I shouldn't have.
Maybe, or maybe you've gone into an area and that monster's too high a level for you, or something.
Well, I
like
accepted the starter quest. I don't fucking know, mate. We'll come back to it. I'm probably just being thick.
But I had to do that for a game called Shadow of the Colossus. I heard so many good things about it. I got the remake for it for PS4, and I jumped into it, and it's got a really sort of slow start to it. Then you fight your first Colossus, and like yourself, I came away from it 45 minutes later. What the fuck am I doing wrong? because it wouldn't, like you said, it wouldn't die. I don't know what to do here. So I never actually went back to that. Actually, the more I think about it, so that's still on my list, waiting to be played. So
I've got that. If I activate PlayStation PS Plus, I do have that access to that game.
Do you know how to play it?
No, never played it. Never even downloaded it, mate.
I was gonna ask if you could teach me because I'm doing something wrong. Like,
no, sorry, I cannot be of assistance. I'm afraid. I am not good at video game. It would appear.
I love video games, and I love talking about them, and especially love talking about them with you, but I'm not good at them.
No, I'm really bad.
I suck at games.
Am I good at any games? I don't think. I think I've been good at WoW, but it's a very different game now to back then, because I started playing that again this week.
I used to be quite good at Pokemon. I used to be able to breed competitive teams and stuff like that with, like with the good IVs and the properly split and the proper natures and stuff like that, proper split EVs and whatever. I don't think I could do that now. Because in the 6th generation they had like a mini game where you could do it that made it super easy, and I'm not sure what the crack is with it now and how you do it. So just I'm not doing that now. So I used to be good at that, and I'm kind of good at Crash Bandicoot, but not to the point where somebody else who played Crash Bandicoot would say you're good at it, because I cannot do.
I've played Crash Bandicoot, and you are good at Crash Bandicoot.
I can't do the time trials though, man. It's the relics.
Yeah, no, you're good. But you're good relics, compared to me. I'm pretty shit at Crash Bandicoot.
Be that as it may, like, I don't think I'm good at any. No, CTR. I'd smash a game of CTR. I'll smash anyone at CTR. You come at me in the comments, like, add me Kaiju Groupie 91 on PSN. I'll smash it. Anyone, come on, okay. Let's have you.
So you brought Crash up.
Yes. Here we go.
Let's
Crash on the Run.
Crash on the Run, the mobile Crash Bandicoot game that came out this week. Have you played it?
Yeah.
How much have you played? How long did you play it for?
The first I've played it in 20-minute bursts pretty much every day since it came out, and I'm still on the first island, on the third area, and for what it is, it's a Crash experience on mobile. I don't hate it, man. I think it's kind of cool.
Good. Well, I'm glad for you. I thought it was really shit. I thought it was. I played it. I downloaded it.
No.
Played it for about an hour, and I thought, and I did beat the first boss, whatever it is. You're crafting potions. I'm just like, and then I went to the material gathering island or whatever it was, the level for about 20 minutes just to get enough stuff, and then I finished that, and I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore. That wasn't fun.
Oh no! What did it do to offend you that much? Because it's just an end. It's just it's Temple Run or another endless run.
And that's what it is.
Bandicoot aesthetics.
It's a reskinned Temple Run that's not as difficult.
There are.
Oh no, I'm sure it does.
Challenge comes. The time trials again for me fucking difficult, and also the gem challenge runs, and that might set you a objective of getting to the end of the level through a difficult obstacle course, or the one that I'm on right now has you killing a set amount of enemies and stuff like that. So that there's a little bit of depth there. If you
okay.
And it doesn't take too long to rear its head. Like,
maybe I'll load it back up, but from what I played, it was fucking boring. It was not. I feel like a Crash Bandicoot game, no matter what platform it's on, it should start out harder. than this game did.
I suppose what's the demographic here? It is like it's like kids.
Surely fucking Crash Bandicoot fans is the demographic. That's
just like my mum would probably play this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
just
she loves Candy Crush, so she's probably going to get adverts for this.
Yeah, I'm sure. What I found funny is I got an advert while I was playing this. So I think it was like to double up my resources or something like that for this game. Would you think there'd be a prevention for? So I got an advert to download Crash Bandicoot on the Run while playing Crash Bandicoot on the Run. But anyway, that's not important. I'll give it a bit more time.
No, that's funny that happened. Man.
I'll give it a bit more time.
Give it another go, man. Like let me be perfectly fucking clear. It's not world bending. It's not a great game, okay? But it's at the same level for me as like a Pokemon Go in terms of, you know, it's fun and it's got the assets and aesthetics of a franchise that I really enjoy, and you know, all the classic sound effects are there, all the classical music cues are there. I like it. I brought the fucking biker outfit, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm well in there. I'm on board. It was only $1.99 special offer. Let's go.
Oh dear.
So no, yeah, give it a little bit more time. It's not something I'm going to spend much time on, but when I'm having a shit, and I'm not going to edit myself because it's important that you stay true to your convictions and you're yourself online. When I'm having a shit, if I don't feel like scrolling memes, I can scroll Crash instead. Do you know what I mean? And that's the kind of purpose that it serves.
Okay, so, fair enough.
Yeah,
I just wanted a bit more out of it when I heard there was a Crash mobile game. This exact game has been released 100 times. In the past 10 years, this exact fucking game with a different skin on it. I just wanted something new.
What were you hoping for?
Just
more.
More, yeah, just
more.
Something new, something that I hadn't seen before on a phone, like how when Mario, Super Mario Brothers came out for iOS, that was something new. I hadn't played anything like that at the time. I really enjoyed that I finished it at the time, however long that game was. Yep. And also Mario Kart, when that came out for phones as well, I played quite a lot of that. I played that for a couple of months and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it right out the gate. It was bringing these games in a much more direct way to phones. This is not Crash Bandicoot. This is not how a Crash Bandicoot game plays.
No, you are right, and I keep tripping myself up because the main crate on this is the jump crate. It's not the question mark crate. It's the jump crate, right? And yeah. I keep tripping myself up because I keep trying to jump on it because
weird,
there's just something subliminal. Yeah,
I don't understand why they've put that in.
No, I don't know why Crash can knock himself out by running into crates. So it's not. You are right. It's not a Crash Bandicoot game, but for what it is and what I've known it is for a while, I wasn't expecting anything less than a Temple Run clone, but with Crash Bandicoot instead. I find it weird that it's got the same sort of assets and animations and the look and feel from the Insane trilogy rather than Crash 4, do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of sends a bit of a weird message. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is the game's moving in this direction, and then this is kind of with CTR and the Insane trilogy. It's sort of like that kind of stuff can stay in its own dimension over there, and we're going to do our thing. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like
I haven't played Crash 4 because it seems impossible to get a fucking physical version in the UK. In fact, I don't think they've been released in the UK yet. If you go on game. The game.co.uk.
It's pre-order, doesn't it?
It says pre-order, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, and then.
Oh, you're in for a good one, man. The only reason I was saying that though is because the art style is much different in Crash 4. It doesn't follow the Insane designs at all, whereas this even uses some animation cues from the Insane trilogy. And what the fuck have they done to Coco in this game, man? She looks weird.
I thought she looked a bit weird, yeah.
Yeah. Oddly anthropomorphized in the face and strange. No, I'd need to have a chat with the developers on that one, but like a principal's office chat. Do you know what I mean? Where they come in and sit down, and I'm like, what's what's going on here, guys? Everything okay at home? Like, but I won't say much more about that. Okay.
Right.
Are we done? I think we're done. I think that's a podcast, mate.
It looks a lot like a podcast.
Nice one. I hope that there was something entertaining to glean from that Winter Soldier discussion.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like the better conversation we had about it was lost to time. It's gone.
We're building up quite a collection of lost content on this podcast, man.
I mean,
yeah,
we could make, I think, 2 or 3 full podcasts out of what's been lost at this point.
No, but
to say we've only got like 6 out, that's a fucking lot.
On a serious note, though, I needed this, mate. So thank you ever so much for spending your evening with me rather than your morning this time. It's
been a pleasure, mate.
Mukkapod after dark. Yeah, but
does this make a difference if I turn my light off? Slightly, not really.
Yeah, ever so slightly. Not as cool as that, though. Thank you, everyone. Drop us a like on the video, drop us a comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, leave us a Apple review, which seems to be very rare, so we'll love you forever if you leave us an Apple review, and we'll read it out on the fucking podcast if you leave us an Apple review. Like, there you go, there's your incentive. Do you want your name read to 102 people? then give us a review. Hey! Jord, where can people find you online if they feel so inclined?
At _Sidonian on Twitter.
Woohoo! I am at Kaiju Groupie 91 on Twitter, where I promote a lot of stuff for this podcast, and also get into arguments with random people online every now and then. But yeah, if you want to argue with me, that's fine, but keep it online. And if you see me in real life, just leave me alone. That's all.
Okay,
I ask.
will do.
That's all I ask.
That's it. That's the
yeah.
podcast, isn't it, mate?
I'm gonna hit those buttons. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye. My pod is Boston. My pod is pure. I've got a Mukka. His name is Jord. It's Mukkapod. It's Mukkapod. It's Mukkapod Ayit. And we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real. And hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go.